let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Would you please join us tonight in invocation given by Ms. Tanini, and remain standing for the pledges.
Our Father in heaven, we come and gather tonight thankfully, and we pray for thy guidance as we conduct the business of our school district. As we commend and celebrate the heroic acts and great achievements of our students and our staff, we take a moment to recognize that there are those in our school family who are mourning and hurting at this time. We pray that thou will bless us with thy promised blessing of comfort and help us navigate through this very difficult time. We again acknowledge thy goodness and thy glory and are grateful for the opportunity to serve in this district and to serve thee. And we offer this prayer, and we do so in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, Mr. Combs, would you like to introduce the greeters and also the student and faculty commendations, please?
I would, yes, ma'am. This evening, we have the wonderful opportunity to have with us the E.C. Mason Student Council serving as our greeters. And as most of y'all are witnesses and can attest to, they did an outstanding job, maybe even the best we've ever had. So how about a round of applause for the E.C. Mason Student Council? This group of students continues to do great things for our local communities through various community service projects, and they, along with their sponsor, Ms. Blair Donnelly, are here with us. Ms. Donnelly, come join us up here as well. We're going to put you on the spot, and we're going to ask each one of these outstanding greeters to introduce themselves, and will you tell us what is the best thing about E.C. Mason Elementary? Can you do that? Okay, all right, you're first up.
Hello, my name is Christian James, and the best part about E.C. Mason is the teachers.
Hello, my name is Ella Pasquale, and the best part about E.C. Mason is that we have the principal. Hello, my name is Isabel Morris, and my favorite thing, I'm a student council representative, and my favorite thing about E.C. Mason is probably that we get to do clubs, and we get to do fun things and do carnivals and stuff like that.
My name is Madeline Leitner, and I am in Stuco, and the best thing about E.C. Mason is that we're the happiest place on earth.
Hello, my name is Franklin Hart, and the best thing about E.C. Mason is the clubs are awesome.
Thank you for having us tonight. We are currently in our elections right now this year, so we're looking forward to another great year with Stuco and all the great things we do with the school and the community, so we're really excited. Thank you for having us.
And I have to tell you, I just asked them that question outside. So I don't believe Ms. Rives had the opportunity to rehearse answers with them. Although the best principal, I mean, I think the students believe that. So that's fantastic, Ms. Rives. You have some fans with your students. That's great. All right, thank you all for being here. How about another round of applause for E.C. Mason Student Council? All right. Okay, for our commendations this evening, we will start off with the 2016 Lone Star Leadership Academy camps. More than 1,000 outstanding 4th through 8th grade students participated in education in action during the 2016 Lone Star Leadership Academy in Austin and San Antonio. Students had the opportunity to develop problem-solving skills, exercise creativity, and work on leadership and presentation skills, to name a few. So these two following Alvin ISD students were selected through a process to be participants in this camp. And first, from Harvey Junior High, we have Desiree Gray. Desiree, are you with us? All right, Desiree, come on down. And from Nolan Ryan Junior High, we have Christine Wrong. Christine, are you here? Definitely our future leaders with us today, already learning those skills and exemplifying those. We're very proud of y'all. And moms and dads and principals, don't hesitate, don't be shy. We'll let you take as many photos as you like. Come forward. All right, Desiree and Christine, congratulations. Thank you for the way you represented Alvin ISD. Now, we have to be careful with this next group of students that is here to be recognized. I need to make sure that I keep them on my good side because we have some world champions, Kickstart world champions to be specific, former Rodeo Palms junior high students who have now entered high school, recently participated in the World Championship competition in Las Vegas for the Chuck Norris System organization this summer. And each of the students who are led by Kickstart instructor Caesar Paz placed while at the competition. Again, did y'all hear me say World Championship competition? Pretty significant. So first, we have some 9th grade students attending Manville High School. We have Oscar Gamino, who is first in sparring, first in traditional forms, and second in weapons forms. All right, congratulations, Oscar. And then we also have from Manville High School, Emily Drilling, who is second in traditional forms. Emily, come on down. And we also have 2 9th grade students currently attending Shadow Creek High School. We have Hannah Knight, who is first in sparring and third in traditional forms. Congratulations, Hannah. And we also have Logan Talley, who was third in sparring, again at the World Championship competition. Come on down, Logan. Pretty significant accomplishments for these folks. They started again at Rodeo Palms and have continued their pursuits. They still go to Rodeo Palms and are under the instruction of their instructor, Mr. Paz, who is here as well. Please come on down and join us at the front. Round of applause. All right, I didn't mess up y'all's names, did I? I'd be a little bit nervous walking out later, so I'm in good standing with everybody. Okay, just needed to check that in front of everybody when there's witnesses with these guys here. So congratulations on your talents in representing Alvin ISD at the World Championship competition. Thank you, guys.
Bob, race hands. Dismiss.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Mr. Paz. Okay, we also have to recognize this evening the Rodeo Palms Junior High Symphonic Band. The 2015-16 Rodeo Palms Junior High Symphonic Band was recently announced as a commended winner in the Citation of Excellence. The Citation of Excellence is a competition for Texas non-varsity bands sponsored by the Foundation for Music Education, and the performance of Rodeo Palms Junior High Symphonic Band represents the highest level of music teaching and learning in the state of Texas. And this evening, we would like to recognize the band and the directors, and we have Susan Baldraghini, head band director, here to accept the award on behalf of the program. Congratulations, Ms. Baldraghini. Ms. Baldraghini partners in leading the band with Brian Wood and Lou Baldraghini as well. And so they are to be congratulated next time you see them, but we appreciate Susan Baldraghini being with us this evening. How about one more round of applause for Rodeo Palms? And those are our commendations for the evening.
Thank you. Okay, moving on with the agenda. We do not have any open forum requests this evening, so we're going to move strictly into the consent agenda. Are there any agenda items anyone wishes to pull? All right then. Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve consent agenda items A through E?
So moved.
First by Ms. Tenney, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Schottel. All in favor of approving consent agenda items A through E? Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is a request to consider approval of the 2016-2017 Alvin ISD tax rate.
Board, included in your packet is a resolution to adopt the tax rate for 16-17. You can see that it's broken down into the two categories, maintenance and operation, and then interest and sinking. Total tax rate recommended tonight is $1.45. The M&O tax rate does remain the same. This is a 3.3 cent increase to the INS tax rate.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the property tax rate increase by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.45, which is effectively a 9.55 increase in the tax rate?
So moved.
First by Ms. Metoyer. Do I hear a second? Second by Ms. Winterstrom. Is there any questions or comments?
I do have a question. When we went out for the 2015 bond, we made projections as to what the property values would be and what the tax rate would be at this time. How are we doing compared to that? Are we at projected numbers? Are we below, above?
We're about half what the projected numbers were. We've sold not all of those available bonds, but majority of them, because we've accelerated some of the construction schedules. And so the tax in the projections that we presented for the bond, it was 8 cents, 8.3 cent increase was the projected. Like anything, we're going to talk about a little later with construction cost, we have to make projections, and we always like to model those projections on a scenario where there's not an increase in values, there's not a change in how we gather that. And so if everything stayed static, it would have taken 8.3. Our recommendation tonight is 3.3 pennies. And that 3.3 does take us to that $1.41. I mean, to the 41 cents on the INS side. So about half, with about 85 to 90% of the bonds.
We have 52 million left, is it?
Correct. That's available left.
So we're good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
We had increases in property values this year that outpaced not just the folks like me who got the nice surprise when their the existing property value went up, but then also all the new construction and new homes, those values were added. which the speed of what's going on, of those properties being added to the tax rolls. The second piece of that is that there's always a year lag.
Okay.
And so we haven't benefited all of what's there yet, because of the way we configure school funding, especially tax rates. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes forward with the impact on the tax rate, but obviously projecting it out at the worst case scenario,
Right.
coming back in at probably what is reality, and then continuing on the construction schedule.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor of approving the property tax rate increase by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.45, which is effectively a 9.55%, I failed to say percent earlier, increase in the tax rate. Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is the request to consider Yes.
Can I back up? I'm sorry.
Yes, you can.
That last statement is required by statute to be made, that it's an increase in the tax rate of that percentage. You'll notice in there, though, that there was no mention of the increase in property values that accompanied that. And so when you compare those two, 13% increase in property values. So the 9% increase in tax obviously did not match the increase in property values.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're good.
I'll get off my soapbox.
You're good. Okay, request to consider approval of award of contract for construction of Alvin ISD Junior High number 7.
Board, we received our competitive sealed proposals for construction in August. Gamma's proposal of $29,119,000 has been reviewed, and we believe that's the proposal that we should accept.
All righty. Do I hear a motion to approve Gamma Construction as the general contractor for construction of junior high number 7 and authorize the superintendent or his designee to negotiate and execute the final construction contract not to exceed $29,119,000? So moved. First by Ms. Schauble. Do I hear a second? Second by Ms. Winterstrom. Other questions or comments?
Can I make a comment? I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in again.
Yes.
On that same bond projection that we had, the figure listed for this junior high was $43 million, is what we projected could be that maximum cost as we had to project out. So Pat Miller and Jeff Cuvion and their crews, as always, have done a good job of bringing those bids in well below what the projections were. Yeah,
Extraordinarily good
absolutely,
job.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. On the bottom, it says base bid and all alternatives. We've got a price, then we have base bid and accepted alternatives. What alternatives did we cut out of those?
The alternates that were in there was controls for our mechanical equipment, where basically we were wanting to see what those numbers were, and so we were going to have to take one of those. Also, there were alternates for polished concrete and terrazzo, which we were able to get into this project. So on the first floor and the commons areas, we're going to have terrazzo. Previous junior highs, we've been having tile, which is a nice product. Terrazzo is a really nice product and add consistent with what we've been doing at a lot of the other schools, trying to go back to the enduring qualities of terrazzo that will survive the building, not have to be replaced over time. Some of the other alternates, Bill?
Different cooling towers, just different options.
Well, I mean, okay, I understand that. What did we, I see the difference in all alternatives, and we've got the bid with alternatives accepted. Which, on the all alternatives, what did we cut out?
We didn't lose or eliminate any scope.
The base bid had a specific cooling tower. There were 2 different alternates for different cooling towers. So we chose one of the 3.
Okay.
And chose not to take the other 2.
Okay. So we basically got all the alternatives in the bid.
That we
Everything.
And I think that's the key right there. The ones that we felt that the value was enough worth taking. If you look, alternate number 8, there was an $8,600 add to go to stainless steel versus the aluminum that we originally had in there. We did not take that alternate. We didn't feel that was worth the value to go from stainless or to go to stainless from aluminum. And then the underground utility, there are a couple in there that we chose at the value that they were adding. We did not accept those all. So there are some in there that we did not accept.
Are there any other questions? Okay. And all in favor of approving Gamma Construction as the general contractor for construction of junior high number 7, and authorize the superintendent or his designee to negotiate and execute the final construction contract not to exceed $29,119,000. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Board.
Agenda item number 9 is the request to consider approval of the transfer of parkland adjacent to Alvin ISD Junior High number 7.
Back to the same conversation about junior high number 7, where that land is laid out. Again, the purchase of that land was done years ago, prior to even completion of the development. And so once they did put curb cuts in for crossovers on those roads, it became apparent once we decided to build a school on that lot that it would make more sense to match the existing curb cuts and crossovers than have to pay extra to change it. So we've negotiated with the city and the developers to maintain the same amount of green space that was presented there. This would then authorize us to have a mutual exchange of land between the two owners, and that would allow us to make that entry drive on off of Kingsley to cross through the present park property, and in return they'll get some of our green space property as well.
Do I hear a motion to approve negotiations and legal transfer of the land area necessary to provide best access and traffic flow of junior high number 7 driveway, and authorize the superintendent or his designee to be authorized to negotiate and execute the transfer of ownership? So, first by Mr. Humbert, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Pickren. Are there questions?
Question.
Yes,
I know at Nolan Ryan, up through that drive, if there's any of the Little League football games or activities going on, cars stack up along that drive and it actually gets a little dangerous. And my concern is putting a park here and looking at this drive, I can see once again cars starting to stack up. And I see our parking lot looks like maybe it's a little bit closer, but trying to work with the Parks Department and making sure that there's adequate parking for the families who are going to be using the parking and not blocking the drive. I mean, it does get dangerous. I feel like Nolan Ryan at times.
And some of that's in our control and some of it's not. The green space requirements are there as a city and a developer, and so they make those decisions about where those are. We express to them, and hopefully every time we add, especially facilities, we can take some of the pressure off of our other facilities and decrease the amount of traffic that are actually flocking to each individual facility.
Okay, is there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, then all in favor of approving the negotiations and legal transfer of the land area necessary to provide best access and traffic flow of junior high number 7 driveway, and authorize the superintendent or his designee to be authorized to negotiate and execute the transfer of ownership. Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is the request to consider approval of annexation of stadium transportation site into the City of Iowa Colony and Municipal Utility District.
Moving now to the district, which is a little further south than the two buildings than the junior high we've been talking about. In order to set that stadium up with those utilities, it's a requirement that we annex them into the jurisdictional areas of those entities. So our recommendation is that you approve for our staff to pursue and execute that annexation of the entire property that includes the stadium, the transportation facility, and 2 other future facilities in that same property.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve Alvin ISD staff to pursue and execute the annexation of the entire stadium and transportation site into the boundary of the City of Iowa Colony and Missouri County Municipal Utility District number 55?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Tanini. I have a first. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Metoyer. Are there questions or comments?
So that puts every bit of land we have out there into annexation.
Correct. It's all in.
Any other questions? All right, then. All in favor of approving Alvin ISD staff to pursue and execute annexation of the entire stadium and transportation site into the boundary of the City of Iowa Colony and Missouri County Municipal Utility District Number 55. Motion carries 7-0, pardon me. All right, moving on to the request to consider approval of class size waiver.
Each year, we come to you with hopefully getting more and more limited on our class size waivers every year. From 3 years ago, where we had multiple at 23 to 1, we are now requesting that we waiver for 8 classrooms across the district. The majority of these are specialty classrooms, students choosing to be in programs, and so it doesn't, even the classroom teachers and administrators on those campuses feel that the need to split up at 23 or 24 to 1 does not outweigh the need for a waiver. So our request is to approve these 8 waivers. 8, correct,
Yep.
yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve, to grant the class size waiver?
So moved.
First by Ms. Scheibel. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Winterstrom. Are there questions or comments? All right, then hearing none, all in favor of granting approval of the class size waiver? Motion carries 7-0.
We're at 98%, 22 to 1 across our district.
Wonderful.
That's great.
It's amazing. All right, number 12 on the agenda is the request to consider approval of employments.
With that additional growth that we've been having, as you know, we're in the process of, even as we were beginning school, to hiring teachers and employees. So you have in front of you a list of those employees up for recommendation this month.
Do I hear a motion to approve the requested personnel items as presented?
So moved.
First by Ms. Pickering. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Tanini. Do y'all have any questions or comments? Hearing none, then, all in favor of granting approval for the requested personnel items as presented? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Board.
Agenda item number 13 is the request to consider approval of 3 additional custodial positions for the 2016-2017 school year.
And again, dealing with growth and movement of facilities within the district, 2 custodian positions at Shadow Creek High School and 1 for the Clemens Street complex for this school year.
Do I hear a motion to approve, to grant approval for 3 additional custodial positions for 16-17 school year as requested?
So moved.
First by Ms. Pickering. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Humbird. Thank you. Do y'all have any questions or comments? All right, then. All in favor of approving the 3 additional custodial positions for the 16-17 school year as requested? Motion carries 7-0. Talking about growth still is the request to consider approval of personnel growth positions, which is 2 counselor staffing positions.
I would like to say that if we get all these done, that's all we'll do this year, but I kind of highly doubt that.
I doubt that. I really
So
do.
as we respond to this, these additional counselor positions are due to rapid growth and large enrollment on campuses. And so trying to keep those numbers down, we recommend approval of those positions.
Do I hear a motion to approve the 2 additional counselor positions?
So moved.
First by Ms. Winterstrom. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Metoyer. Any questions, comments? All right, then, all in favor of approving the 2 additional counselor positions? Motion carries 7-0. Moving on, we're doing well here. Request to consider approval of administrative growth position, 1 elementary assistant principal.
As we all know that we need help in positions of these at all our campuses, but so we've kind of set some lines for the elementary campus. Students that when they get over 900 is kind of the line we set. So the first one we're requesting is for Savannah Lakes Elementary School, currently enrollment of 916. I guess that was on Friday. I haven't checked today.
Wow.
So we're requesting an additional administrative position at that campus.
Okay. Do you hear a motion to grant the approval of the request of administrative growth position, which is 1 elementary assistant principal as submitted? First by Ms. Tonini.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Pickern, for a second. Do you have questions or comments about this item? All right, then, all in favor of approving the request for administrative growth positions, which is 1 elementary assistant principal as submitted?
Thank you.
All right, motion carries 7-0. Number 16 on our agenda is a request to consider approval of administrative growth position 1 secondary assistant principal.
For the junior highs, we set that number at about 1,000. Manville Junior High has been over 1,000 this year. They're presently, as of Friday, at 996. Our recommendation is that we add another assistant principal on that campus. I would like to say, with all of these, if through the opening of new campuses, those populations go down, we do move those positions around where they're needed. So some of them were moved last year, some of them stayed because those campuses didn't go down any. So our recommendation is that we add the assistant principal's job at Manville Junior High.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the administrative growth position 1 secondary assistant principal as submitted?
So moved.
First by Ms. Scheibel. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Winterstrom, for that second. Any questions, comments? Yes.
I just want to say, after teaching in another district at a junior high that was at 998 for months, and having a district and a board who said you only get a second assistant principal when you have 1,000 kids for at least 2 months, I appreciate this. Because I know the difference it made when we finally hit enough kids, and it was just a difference of like 3 kids. Made a huge difference in the whole atmosphere of our school.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. All in favor? So we have a first and a second. We've asked for questions. All in favor of approving the request of the administrative growth position, which is 1 secondary assistant principal as submitted? All right. Motion carries 7-0. Number 17 is a request to consider approval of administrative staffing position, which is the principal at the CTE Center.
Again, talking about growth and new facilities, our CTE Center is slated to be opened in the next 12 months, 15 months, depending upon construction schedule. They've had pretty days, Jeff. They can make it up. I'm telling you, the sun's been shining. That's right. That's right. We're requesting to go ahead and add this position. We don't necessarily have a strict timetable when we're going to bring a recommendation to you, but it allows us to post that job and see who is there. I do want to say that our CTE facility is not like many CTE facilities in that it doesn't contain just career and technology classrooms. It has an entire second floor that contains some general ed classrooms. And so depending upon how our scheduling goes and the needs of the students, we do foresee that there will be some general ed classes taught on that campus. And so because of that, we will need a principal there to administer all of that, not only the students traveling back and forth from our regular campuses, but quite possibly there could be students that are there and spend the majority of their day at that campus. So.
Is it time for questions?
Not yet.
Okay, never mind. Hold that.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the staffing request of the principal at the CTE Center as submitted?
So moved.
First by Ms. Pickren. Is there a second?
I will second that.
All right, so then.
So I can ask a question.
We have a first and second. Is there any questions or comments, Ms. Tonini?
Why, yes.
Of course.
Can you remind us the capacity that we're building the CTE Center for?
At any given time, it's about 800.
Okay.
But if you were, that is a doubled number if depending upon how you schedule. If you schedule an AM, PM, you could have 800 in the AM, 800 in the afternoon. If you scheduled a day, 800. But about 800 is the capacity that could be there at any given time. The flexibility in that, though, allows more than that to be served in a single day. And Jeff, the 800 includes usage of the classrooms on the second floor. And I got to back up. Y'all planned this, didn't you, Pat? So that design that Jeff and them came up with is really it's unique and it's phenomenal. The flexibility that facility will provide us, not only with moving kids in and out of that campus on a day-to-day basis, but then by allowing those flex spaces where if a kid's schedule has to be adjusted to make that work, being able to have the regular ed classrooms available on that campus just allow so much more flexibility to allow more of our kids to have an opportunity to take advantage of those great programs. And so I know there were a lot of hours put into planning and designing that. And so again, kudos. Good job, guys. Yeah.
So do we have any projections when it opens in fall of 2017 as to how many students were anticipated?
So we've had 3 days of good weather, and I'm on Mr. Kuvion about getting going.
Okay.
And so right now our concerns are construction schedules because of rain, and so I'm setting that up because it may be a facility that we take in stages. And so depending upon which ends of the building and which areas of the building that they complete first will impact the enrollment.
Right.
But you know, looking across our district right now at those students who would be able to go into that in a full time, you're looking at you know, generous estimates anywhere from 450 to 600 that would be eligible at any time, and we still are a year away working on setting kids up on those paths.
Paths, yeah. Okay.
Any other questions?
Are my numbers right? Is anybody? I mean, Lisa, those are the numbers we're working off of, correct? Okay.
All right, and all in favor of approving the staffing request of the principal at the CTE Center as submitted? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Board.
All right, superintendent's report.
So again, a great day, August 22nd, first day of school, when we opened the doors and had on that day about 1,400 more kids than the last day of school the previous year. By the end of the first week, we were at about 1,500 more kids than we had the first day of last week. I do want to comment that our communications department took everybody that as you posted on their own social media could tag us or send it in, and they gathered all those photos from around the district and placed them all together in a collage, and it was really kind of cool to watch that fill up on the first day. Shadow Creek High School had their first pep rally. A unique day, obviously, people filling it up. Parents, community members, students, as they sent their team on with the dance teams and the athletes and the band on September 2nd. A really fun day for Shadow Creek. Shadow Creek, we're getting to experience a lot of firsts, you know, and so we have a great administrative team out there that just a quick story. I know that the night the first touchdown was scored, people looked out, and one of the assistant principals was walking out across the field to the referee to grab the ball. You know, so everybody's focused on the firsts so that we can have mementos for that. Speaking of another first, our STEM Academy at Alvin ISD STEM Academy, located at Rodeo Palms Junior High, is up and running. Went by there the other day, watching the kids and seeing the measures that they're involved in, and you can see some of the pictures. I love to watch them rotate. They were Ms. Flowers, they were not in a classroom all the time. They were in and out of the hallway and moving around. They kind of have their own little corner over there, and it is a great program. Again, our first year, and Ms. Caffey and her staff have worked hard to put this together. They're going to evaluate as we go forward, and then again, it will expand to 3 grades next year. Bill Hassey Elementary School. Mr. Hassey built the building there, the dedication on Sunday, August 28th. We had about 250 members of the community come out to honor Mr. Hassey and that school. Would like to say this, that I think the greatest honor that's happening right now is Ms. Baker and her staff. The things that are going on every day in those classrooms with those kids, the learning involved, just honors his memory and honors his legacy. And so also, I like to poke fun at my neighbor, Mr. Hassey, so anytime I get to have a whole afternoon with him, that makes it even better. So, speaking of openings, you're invited October the 4th to the dedication of Meridiana Elementary School at 5 p.m. And I believe, Mr. Combs, that's in conjunction with an open house or a meet the teacher or some other campus activity on that night. Also, this Friday night, the Education Foundation Gala at the Space Center Houston, and I believe that, what time does it start? I can't read.
I think 6 is social
6?
hour and dinner's at 7.
I think that's right.
Okay, all right. So we can get there about 4, it'll be all right, right?
You're gonna be put to work.
You can
Okay.
help decorate.
The last couple of slides that I have in my report go along with our CTE Center conversation that we just had. And I won't read through all of this, but I think it's important, and we can send this out to everybody in communication, and I know Daniel and his crew post these on the website as well. But just the list of certifications that we presently offer our students through our CTE program, everything from certified nursing assistant, EMT, to the OSHA safety classes and the NCCER classes for HVAC and construction technology. On the next page, we have the MOS certification in business. On the next page, we have our in-process, our NATEF for our National Automobile Technician Education Foundation for our auto tech and auto collision students. Cosmetology, obviously they can gain their full cosmetology license before they graduate from high school. The ServSafe certification through Culinary Arts allows them to gain employment immediately in the restaurant industry. And then our audiovisual technology with the A+, the TIA A+ certification, and then all of those other software certifications that they offer show that our kids have opportunities already. As our center is opening, this list will grow because we will now have the facility to offer the specific certification classes as they go. I didn't mention the welding, and I mean we have so many things that it's hard to mention them all. But we will post this on the webpage. An exciting time indeed for students who have chosen a career path already, and we can work to get them certified and move them into that career path. And I believe that's the extent of my report for the evening.
Right. Does the board have any future agenda items that y'all would like to bring forward? All right, then.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you. You can always depend upon you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Winterstrom. All in favor of adjourning? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
You're gonna miss me when I call.